Show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Detroit Pistons going up against the Chicago Bulls. For Chicago, a win tonight would bring them to 3-0 on the young season. What a start that would be for them. They've looked awfully good in those first two wins. Well, we're just getting started with the Stan Van Gundy rebuild in Detroit. He's got full control and will start to build the roster to his liking. Shaq, you played for him for a while. How do you see him shaking things up in Detroit?
You know, he's a pretty good X&O man, very focused guy. So he's going to focus on players who can hit the three and spread the floor on offense. He'll also look to get players who are solid defensively. I just hope they can keep up with the, come on, get back on defense, what are you doing?
Oh, that's Van Gundy. I thought he was in the building, man. You're a great imitator of people, man. But, you know, he had a lot of success with one big man down in Orlando with that spread offense.
Don't you say it.
Okay, with Dwight Howard, not Superman, but the ingredients are there for Detroit. And they, you know, drafted the young kid, Stanley Johnson, so we'll see what happens.
That is all the time we have right now. But we will be back later, I promise.
Come on, Ernie.
It's NBA basketball on 2K Sports. We're glad you could join us on this exciting Friday night matchup. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And joining us in a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. Looking at Chicago, they took the win in their last game against the Nets.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So for Chicago right now, Butler teamed with Dunleavy on the perimeter. At the 4, it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. And it's Rose in at the point guard position.
What are you going to do defensively? Such separation with the height advantage in that matchup.
It's incredible to think that Pau Gasol last year set a career high in points in a game for as long, Clark, as he's played. He had that 46-point game in January.
Yeah, that's 46 points for Pau to go with 18 rebounds. I mean,
right.
You rarely see a player of his age putting up a career high like that.
Pass to Noah. Gasol on the high post, fires at the elbow. Good, and a nice assist from Noah.
Yeah, it's just a smart shot taking advantage of the mismatch.
Well, with a stroke like that and the height advantage as well, the mid-range J is almost a gimme.
Noah with the block. Oh, and a fast break for the Bulls. Rose, that's good.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Stan Van Gundy.
Thanks, Kevin. He talked about the challenge defensively going up against a team that can really execute. He said they're a team that makes the most of every single possession. They won't settle for tough shots. We have to make them take difficult shots, contested shots. Guys, let's see if they have what it takes.
Thanks, Doris. So keeping the opposing shooters in check, guys, they're making that a very high priority right now.
I think that's smart. I mean, you have to identify what your opponent's strengths are, and he's done it correctly.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, if you let their shooters get even a tad comfortable, you're playing with major fire there.
And that's going to be a travel.
Well, we've got a moment to look back at last year's Bulls. 3rd in rebounding, 3rd in three-point shooting. And they also showed up in the top 5 in opponent field goal percentage. A very improved defensive team.
Yeah, and going back to their rebounding, very few teams could outmuscle them inside. The size and toughness to scrap for every carom off the backboard.
Now, here is Morris. Ilyasova can't hit. Bulls have had a great rebounding team for a long time now. Last season was no different.
Yeah, so many categories to measure how well a team rebounds. The Bulls were in the top 3 in almost all of them.
Here's Jennings after the made shot from Joakim Noah.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
Chicago leading. Rose with the ball. And Jennings picks him up defensively. Rose gets the bucket.
As for the Bulls and rebounding, I mean, they were second in the league in winning contested rebounds. That's another data analytics stat for you folks. Second overall in total rebounds, too.
Now here's Ilyasova. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Utah.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Rose with the block. And the whistle blew, so that'll be a shooting foul. Great defensive effort there with the blocked shot. But he got more than just the ball that time. Free throws coming up right now.
Shooting 2. And with the big men the Bulls have, it's easy to see why they rebound so well. But make no mistake, guards and bigs alike rebound well on this Bulls team. And Jody Meeks last season, coming off the best effort of his career the year before, signed a big contract with the Pistons. They thought he'd be their designated three-point shooter. Instead, he missed the first 22 games with a back injury and just never really got in sync.
There's the pick. Jackson drives in, the 11-footer. Chicago grabs the miss. Brooks outside. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Now for Jody Meeks, we were just talking about with Greg last year, Clark. He did have a game where he rained 9 3-pointers on Orlando, just one short of the Pistons' all-time record.
Well, it's all about rhythm for him. I tell you where he finally found some rhythm last month of the season. I mean, he shot 57% from the field and 44% from behind the arc.
Jackson has the open look. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Jackson's got his first 3 points of the game.
Yeah, poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at the basket from three-point range.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And for most of his career, Taj Gibson has been a tremendous role player up front. GA, he's been extremely steady over 6 full seasons.
And Kevin, he gives you a lot of energy and athleticism when he enters the game. He's got the great length with that 7'4" wingspan. But to me, it's not just about having it. It's about the fact that he utilizes it, and it really allows him to get in there and attack the backboard and contest shots.
And both free throws good from Gibson.
Yeah, you know, talking about Gibson, he started 70 games his first year and made the all-rookie team. But thereafter, had been mostly a 6-man off the bench through last season. It happens, but it's still somewhat unusual for a guy to go backwards like that.
Baines and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. They get Paul Gasol.
And talking about Gibson, if he ever wants to be seen as a high-level starter, he needs to work on a few things. More bankable moves in the post, a more fluid post game, if you will, and really increased strength and consistency. I think those things will carry him to that starting 5.
Now here's Brooks. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Unloads from 13. It's hauled in by Tolliver.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
Here's the break. And here they go. And there's Mirotic on the assist by Gasol.
You love it when a big man has those soft hands. Rarely any problem converting that close to the rim.
And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
And guys, he's not the tallest or most imposing wing player, but Stanley Johnson has incredible strength and really unmatched confidence. One reason why so many were high on him in the draft.
The Pistons shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And for Johnson out of Arizona, Greg, his strength, as you were talking about, is his biggest asset. Helps that he has this incredible arm span. And Clark, you know what? He told me he likes to play the 2K game.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He likes to play the real game, too,
yeah,
because he's hyper-competitive, and I think he's got a chance to be a superb defender at the NBA level.
Here's Caldwell Pope following the basket by Kirk Heinrich. Tolliver dishes to Johnson. Tolliver kicks to Johnson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Fires for 3. Tries again. And it's Baines missing.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Here's Brooks. And the Bulls tack on 2 more.
This has been a thriller. You cannot say enough about the way these two teams have competed.
All indications, Greg, are that this game is going down to the wire. I mean, I'd be surprised, actually shocked, if it ended any other way.
Heinrich passes to Noah. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
Now here's Jackson. Lets it go with a 3. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. And so